What's up, people? It's late in the night. It's 10:10. I do need to go to my bed and sleep, but before I do, just wanted to give you some San Diego Comic-Con updates as well as some other things with Aquaman. So let's get into it. Screen share it and let's move. Booyah! All right, first I wanted to show you guys this stuff. This is from DC Collectibles. And just revealing the weaponry. So this is, it seems as though at the end of Aquaman, probably he will be in the form that you know and recognize. This is a suit that everybody recognizes of Aquaman. Is the trident. So this may be the trident of Poseidon. Notice the end of the trident and the front of the trident. So I was just looking at the description of the stuff that he'll be wearing. So this is the stuff he'll most likely be wearing at the end of the story. Should be cool to see him in that. And this is a better look at Black Manta. We got some blades here on the side. He's got all of these sort of, I guess, stuff for him to inhale and tanks and stuff. He's got a sword in his hand. Cool. All of this is from DC Collectibles. This is, of course, Mira. Classic Mira look. Really cool. Here she is. This is more like what we saw in Justice League. This is actually from the comics, though. This is not Mira that we will see from, that we saw from Justice League or from what probably would be her movie, with the Aquaman. And here is some Mattel. I think this is Mattel. This is exclusive first look. Here's a shark he's riding. He's riding on a battle shark. I guess this is supposed to be a wave of water or something. And there's the trident again. Poseidon, probably. And there he is in that suit. Now, this, you see some cool things. Now, this is really cool. So here's Aquaman right here. This, I'm assuming, is Orm, his brother, in a battle suit. And notice he has also a sort of trident as well. And then here, I don't know what this is. So if somebody can tell me what this is, that would be so cool. Because I do not know what this is. It looks like a crab-like sort of creature. But I don't know too much more about it. Okay, so if anybody knows what that is, that would be cool. I asked a question on Twitter, too. Nobody responded. Again, Aquaman with the trident. Mira, and she has the way. Yeah, we saw her, actually, in a different look with the battle look for Justice League, and she had the same kind of thing. She can control water. That's basically what it's showing. She can manipulate water. Here's Black Manta. Here's a better look at Black Manta. At the Mattel figures. Very comic book accurate. It's really cool to see him. And then this is probably, I don't know, it could be an Atlantean soldier. Looks different to the garb that we saw with the Atlantean soldiers in Justice League. So maybe, I don't know. This is probably for them when they use it on land, possibly, because they can't breathe. They can't breathe air. It's possible. Here's Orm. This is trident. Again, classic comic book look, classic comic book colors. So he's going to be legit. And there's Volko riding a hammerhead shark. Really cool. I can even have his gear up and everything, so you can get all that in the toys. So I just wanted to show you guys that. And then I'm going to go across to, hold on a second. I don't need this. All right, so I'm going to go. This is from San Diego Comic-Con. This is Aquaman. We were seeing on display here. Hold on 1 second. Let me just get a couple of things organized here. So one of the things I should have done, but I didn't do, so I'm going to go do it now, is I'm going to, so you guys can say hello on here. You so wish. Is this thing on? It is on. Okay, good. All right, so you guys can say hi and so on. So I wanted to show you guys from San Diego Comic-Con what's going on with Aquaman. I think that's a couple more images here for you guys to see. Blood up full screen here. Oh wait, I think you guys are seeing my face. Isn't that right? I think you guys are seeing my face. Let me sort that out one time, because then yeah, you guys are seeing my face. That's right. So let me go to screen share again. Okay, good. We're back. So here we are, so you can see what's going on here. And this is a way of keeping abreast of what's actually available in San Diego Comic-Con. I'm going to show you like 27 images here. So first we have Aquaman. This is from Mattel. Here are again the but I believe it could be the Atlantean soldiers because there's Orm down below there leading them. So this is probably the Atlantean soldiers, but they're on land and not in water, maybe. I don't know. Oops. Here they are riding the sharks. This is so cool, watching the sharks and everything with their battle armor stuff. And there's another, that's Black Manta stuff. I don't know. There's Aquaman up on top there. I remember Miro's being chased by one of them. That's one of the action scenes. Here's Orm moving around with his trident. He is the king of the oceans, current king of the oceans right now. Here are these animals, these bottom feeders, the bottom dwellers. Let's see more of them. Oh, this is so cool. Look at them there again. Look at them there again. So this is when you're in deep trenches and stuff. Mira, they seem to be in Atlantis or something. It's so cool. And here we have, what is this? Is this Aquaman facing off against Orm? So this is Aquaman in some Atlantean gear. He's facing off against Orm. Look at this place, this Atlantean place. This is so cool just to see the scenery before the movie comes out. So there's some party. They're on Atlantis somewhere and they're fighting. This is so cool. Wow. Here we have the bottom dwellers. I forgot what their names are. You guys know what the names of these bottom dwellers are. There's Vulko right there. There's Black Manta going up against Aquaman. And this is like a bottom dweller. And there's Mira. She's also trying to handle the situation. Is this a scene from the movie? I don't know, but this is just exciting to watch. And again, both sides of one side of Aquaman's trident is a spear, and the other side is a trident. It's really cool. And these are some of the characters you get. I don't know if I can zoom in some more or something. I don't know. Can't do anything. That's really cool there. Here's the creature. I forgot what you call these creatures, man. From you guys know what the name of these creatures are? All right, don't worry. There they are again. So they had all of this on display. Orm, Aquaman, Mira, Black Manta, Vulko. All right. And they are in their casings, all ready to go. That's Lex Luthor, I do believe, there. So that's basically it. That's what I have in terms of this stuff. It's 27 things, but it's I don't think the other stuff is that's just classic DC stuff. It's really cool though. Let me come out of this. Right, and you can find out some other things. You don't even have to go into Mattel. You could go into, say, for instance, Hot Toys. There's NECA, DC, NECA, McFarlane, Lego, blah, 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 blah. So let's see what's going on here. And DC Titans. You're in DC. Jeff Johns announced a Stargirl series for DC Universe. Titans is available for pre-order. Yeah, the Aquaman stuff. And here's some more stuff here. This is the classic stuff now. That's what's so cool about this, is that you got the classic stuff as well. Right? So here we are. It'll pop up in a minute. There you go. So this is the classic Black Manta from the comics. This is the classic Aquaman from the comics. I believe this is Orm, or the Ocean Master, as he's called. The classic Ocean Master. Again, you can see that the movie's kind of staying close to and true to that kind of stuff, which I find very cool. All right. I'm just showing you just for the sake of it. And we know Aquaman is blonde and a white guy, generally speaking. That's the only thing Jason Momoa can't be. But he's kind of slightly blonde as well. If you pay attention to Aquaman, he has some blonde edges. I don't know if they blonde him or what. It's a mixed breed. There's Black Manta. And the Black Manta that we actually see, they're the comics here. So this is Ocean Master, right? And Black Manta here. And then there's Aquaman. So it's so kind of cool to see all of this. So that's how the original Black Manta looks. Everybody loves Black Manta. Everybody loves Black Manta. Oh, you can have different glowing eyes as well. Now, Let me go back a little bit. And Lego also has some Revelation of stuff too. But here is the Ocean Master um, for Aquaman movie. And you can see Aquaman. It's got the classic Aquaman gear. I just want to show you Ocean Master there. It's really looks cool, man. Reminds me of the New 52 Ocean Master or the, the Rebirth Ocean Master. It's really cool. All right, let me come out of this. And let's go to, hold on, let me come out of that. Let's go to Lego. And Lego, whoa. Some really cool stuff in Lego. Here's Aquaman. So yeah, this is Lego DC Superheroes Aquaman and Storm set. All right. This one though is I think the classic Aquaman. This is probably Lego Aquaman or something like that. It's only two. Only two. So I'll stay on Lego. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. I have Justice League Tactical Suit, Batman, and Superman. Brickheads figures. Strange. I don't see Jurassic World. I saw somewhere a Lego set where they had the upcoming Aquaman movie. But anyway, that's all good. But I just wanted to show you guys this. That's what you guys are saying. Damien Antovis says, hi, Anson. Damien Antovis says, the Aquaman action figures are awesome. Yeah. Did you hear about the Wall Street Journal article on Release the Snyder Cut movement? It was a puff piece. I know, a puff piece editorial. Jay Oliver actually responded to it. You know what? I can actually get that. I can get Jay Oliver's response to that. Let me go get that for you guys to see. Twitter. Up on my Twitter account. Am I even in my Twitter account? I don't think so. Okay, let me log in. Jay Oliver. Let's see here. Jay Oliver. Man of Steel. David F. Sandberg. He's a real cool dude. Zachary Levy. David Ayer. I follow these guys. Samuel Otten is a really good dude. Dave Eason, who you guys know. Ben Affleck, Ray Fisher, Patty Jenkins, Henry Cavill, Justice League, Zack Snyder, Gal Gadot. I can't find who I'm looking for though. Jay Oliver. So let me just type in Jay Oliver. Oh, there you go. I thought I was following Jay Oliver. I guess not. I thought I was. I guess I'll follow him now. But the important thing is to see what he was saying. Hey, he's talking about a frame from Justice League Snyder Cut. Be safe down in San Diego, Santacom, everybody. And remember, love what you love and respect each other's fandoms. # release the Snyder Cut. Oh, man, look at that. I got to get that. Yeah. See, this is what was happening when he was tapping into the mother box. You know. Let's see here. He actually responded to the Wall Street Journal. Actually, somewhere. I don't see it, though. I don't see it. I think okay. What I have to do is I actually have to go to tweets and replies. So let me see here. Tweets and replies. He's talking about Man of Steel. He said, for example, I saw a screening of Man of Steel prior to reshoots, and it was pretty much the entire film with some VFX still needing final render. So he was talking to somebody. He's talking to somebody here. Let me see where this whole thing starts. Okay. I truly don't understand why anyone out there believed a Snyder Cut of Justice League was ever going to be released. Whether it exists or not is completely out of the question. WB wouldn't, in their right mind, release a cut of a movie that would do nothing but give them a bad press. First of all, this guy Aaron Caboose, you know who Caboose is, right? He actually has a channel on. He's Nightwing or something like that. Anyway, if they don't release the cut, Aaron and these guys need to know, if they don't release the cut, they're going to have not bad press, but they're not going to have a DCEU. They don't understand. People are going to go after this cut like mad. Okay, they're going to behave really bad. So anyway, so this guy Akeem, he says exactly, why release an unfinished movie? People forget that he didn't finish filming the movie. Whedon came and did reshoots and finished it. That's not the point, dude. The thing about it is, whether it's finished or not, okay, there is a complete draft. There was a cut. He actually presented a cut. He even showed a cut to his friends and family. So there is a cut out there. And I never said it was a completed cut. Anyway, all principal photography was done. Apparently, there weren't going to be any more reshoots. The reshoots just did were to add dumb jokes. No. There were reshoots. Reshoots was necessary. This dude. Link me a report that says reshoots weren't going to happen for Justice League at all, please. Just about every single major blockbuster, especially comic book movies, reschedule reshoots. It's extremely difficult to get everything you want in one go. That's absolutely true. I think it was Jay Oliver that said everything that was storyboarded was shot the way Zach works. There may have been some pickups, but nothing would require stupid digital removal of a mustache. No, come on, dude. Look, I guess these guys don't know what reshoots are. So I think Jay Oliver will be able to update them. Man of Steel and Batman v Superman both had reshoots. And both, in the case of Justice League, it was obviously a little bit more extreme. But like I said, reshoots happen with just every comic book movie, any movie. I don't say that in a bad way. Reshoots are always planned for different reasons. My point was that Zach storyboarded and shot pretty much everything, which means you get an entire story, right? There might be new ideas or notes that needed to be addressed that would be covered after principal photography, like, addressing Wonder Woman or whatever. For example, I saw a screening of Man of Steel prior to reshoots, that is, before it. And it was pretty much the entire film with some VFX still needing final render, which is basically what I think is happening with Justice League. It's Justice League needs, like, there's some VFX that need to be done for Cyborg. There's some VFX that need to be done for Flash, some additional things, some additional scenes that you guys don't even know about, for this movie that needed finishing. All right. And not a whole lot of work to be finished, but it still needed to be finished. Right. And also reshoots. When they say reshoots, what they're looking for is, like, sometimes you want to kind of tighten up the movie or whatever. Right. So that's where you do the reshoots. But basically, Jay Oliver is arguing this point. He's arguing there's a complete story there. Okay, that's his point. And that even if you get the cut as it is now, because Zach presented this cut before. Okay, if you present it as it is now, it's going to be good enough to tell you the whole entire story. And my point is that even here's the most important thing. Here's the most important thing. Warner Brothers releases the cut that they have. In other words, they have the license. You have to get the permission from them to be able to do anything. So once they can just release that, okay, just release that cut. And then if Zack Snyder wants to do work on it, he can do work on it. That's the okay they need to get. Zack needs the okay to work on this thing and finish it anyway. So the point is, Warner Brothers doesn't need to fork out any money to start with, okay, to do this. What I am trying to say is the alternative to them not releasing this cut is they're going to have a disgruntled public who already have zero trust in what the direction they're going and don't like how they stronghold or manhandle certain people to get their way. And people, I'm telling you, man, people will not take that lying down. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Aaron Caboose says, I believe that. I assume Man of Steel reshoots were really only for coverage. Aaron got butthurt when he reported me on the Arkham 4 years back. Well, and years later, I still have no idea who you are. Go on, crawl back to stranger and report me like a cryberry. Warner has contacted you to silence you. Thanks for the support, the DCU fans that love previous works and want to see the original movie that was directed by Snyder. I do not understand that lack of respect towards us. All right, so in short, he was involved in that discussion. Keep it positive. That's the only way we're going to get any traction. You can still support the movement and go see Aquaman and support it if you like it. I guess my interview with you didn't fit your narrative. Oh, Ben Fritz. This is it here. Ben Fritz was the guy that wrote the article for the Wall Street Journal. All right. Advocates for the Snyder Cut deride the Justice League movie we got as Justice League and believe the original director, Zack Snyder, had a brilliantly unrealized version that deserves to be released. But does it even exist? There are two very important parts that Brent Fritz continuously, for the Wall Street Journal misses. One is I, who am an advocate for the Snyder Cut, do not deride Justice League. In fact, I think it's a wonderfully solid movie. So so when you give a sweeping statement, Ben Fritz, you are actually saying that there are a lot of people who are in this Release the Snyder Cut movement right now who are not people who deride the Snyder. They don't deride Justice League. I know of It's Mo, for instance, who is on YouTube, and they went with a group of people to Warner Brothers and requested the Snyder Cut, and they supported Justice League, the movie. They have not said anything bad about it. All they have said is that there's a lot of stuff missing from it, what they saw in the trailers and etc. And the same point I make that Zack Snyder's full vision was not on the screen because a lot of his vision has been left off the screen, and that's my major point for advocating for the Snyder Cut. My major point is not so much, how the film was. I think this is most people's point, but it's not that the film was particularly a bad film or anything. It's just that it wasn't the film that we were advertised to get, and so we would like to get that. And we have patronized, and we have not bad talked, and we have never spoken ill of the film. I've been very critical of certain things, and I've shown what irked me in the movie, but I've been critical, but I have not been somebody, and there's a lot of people who are advocating for the Snyder Cut who are not only patronized, they have spoken good of Justice League. They enjoyed the movie. They're glad they got to see the movie. They're glad Warner Brothers put the movie out this year. They're glad that Zack Snyder was able to put out something, and we were able to get something, and it was quite something to get. Okay, that's not the point. The point is that his vision wasn't seen fully on the screen. Obviously, his vision was seen. I'm not saying no. I'm saying it wasn't fully actualized on the screen. Amon White and a lot of people in the know have said this, including Stephen M. Colbert, who's been covering it. And I truly believe that Jay Oliver is actually advocating for something I think that is very positive. And the other point behind it is this. Which would you prefer, to have more additional enemies, Warner Brothers? You're going to have more enemies. You're going to have people who are going to oppose you even more. And even the very people who once advocates for the DCEU will become its detractors. Now, is that what you want? Aquaman is right around the corner. Okay. I'm excited for Aquaman. Okay. But at the end of the day, as much as I want to patronize Aquaman and so on, I understand what kind of environment we're in right now. And Warner Brothers, you have the opportunity to control that environment and to actually rein things in. Your fear, which is illogical, your fear that Zack Snyder's Snyder Cut is somehow going to railroad your plans for the future for Warner Brothers just makes no sense, because it's already being railroaded by the fact that you put out a cut which has the fans dissatisfied, a bulk of them. And even the ones who are satisfied and happy that they got the cut are expecting more because it was a particular director's cut, a particular director who was doing this movie. So you have to understand, if you want to build enemies with your core fan base, continue to try to avoid this issue. This is a dangerous issue for Warner Bros. To be doing, because they have a lot of nice little projects on the pipeline and everything, but nothing compares to what Zack Snyder has done to launch this universe. Like I said, the best comic book movie the DCU has afforded so far, and all of those really hardcore DCU fans will agree with me, is Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. So if they are so stupid as to not understand their fan base, and they think somehow they're going to trick us into, conforming, oh, look at the next best thing, Aquaman's around the corner, and Shazam. No, those things are subservient to Zack Snyder's stuff. They literally are secondary to his stuff. And what I mean by that is the core fan base that got into the DCU got into there because of Zack Snyder. And you just have to accept this reality, Warner Brothers. This is for Walter Hamada. This is for all the executives who have been, some of them have been giving some really stupid recommendations, and then some of them have been giving some really sensible recommendations. You guys have tried very hard to keep your franchise going and so on. You need to understand this universe is one of the key things about this universe. As much as there's a lot of static in the media and all these stupid people, you're listening to the wrong people sometimes. You got to listen to the people who are paying money to see your movies, not critics who are not paying a dime. That you just keep on swooning and advocate. These people don't pay for your movies, okay? The detractors of the DCEU do not pay to see the DCEU movies. So you have to pay attention to the people who are actually taking out of pocket and actually paying to see your movies. I am one of them. I love the DCEU and I pay to see the DCEU. You guys have to understand this. Now, of course, I'm going to go pay to see Aquaman. But like I said before, I'm going to actually temper my wallet and temper my mind if this Snyder Cut is not coming over the horizon. I'm telling you it like it is. Because this is not something Warner Bros. Cannot do, okay? It's not, while I do 100% agree they shouldn't put another dime towards the Snyder Cut, I do absolutely agree that they can give permission for that cut to be released. And as Jay Oliver was saying, even if you just release it as a raw cut, fine. Just give the data over. And the other thing is, Zack Snyder was the director on this project. Why don't they just hand Zack Snyder over the stuff for Justice League? And if he has to pay out of pocket, he pays out of pocket to finish the movie. All right? You know, because they're satisfied with the product they got already. Okay? But they should hand that thing over. Otherwise, it's going to cause problems for them. It really is going to cause problems for them. And I could see this because of the kind of people who are involved in the Snyder Cut movement. Some of them are not very principled people, and I can see them actually beginning to become hooligans and actually tear down the DCEU because they're disgruntled over not getting a Snyder Cut. I can see this happening. You know, I also kind of warned Warner Brothers that if you betray the fan base, they're going to come for you with Justice League. I told them. I made this warning. I thought that Whedon and Elfman would have pulled it apart, and then I saw last minute what was going to happen, and I was kind of like, well, it is what it is, you know. But at the end of the day, the fandom did not accept it. They didn't accept Justice League, and so at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, Warner Brothers. You know, I see the DC TV thing and they're trying to have grit and grime in the DC TV. But you can't have that and you're denying people the Snyder Cut. You can't do it. You can't be using Snyder's formula and then at the same time you're coming back and then you're saying, no, we're not giving you the Snyder Cut. So they need to make up their minds and they really need to think long and hard about this for San Diego Comic-Con, because that issue is going to be raised. And I think it's going to be raised quite a lot when they have their Hall H meeting. People are going to really seriously come out in force. I just can see it happening. Jay Oliver says, I guess my interview with you didn't fit your narrative. Crazy fans. Really disappointed in you, Ben. You had the chance to write an article that helped bring understanding to a movement about keeping the artist's integrity and creative freedom for future filmmakers. I also absolutely agree with Jay Oliver here. And I'm glad he responded to that article, you know. And instead, he decided to join the hate train on the fan base. Fans are calling him out on it and expect him to call us toxic fan base pretty soon. I'm counting how soon he'll use that victim card. He might say he misspoke and meant to say. Actions speak louder than words. This Ben guy is promoting a book about fighting for the future of movies, but he's trashing the movement that's doing exactly the same. Fighting for the future of directors and their movies. # release the Snyder Cut. Exactly. And that's what this is all about. You know, what this is all about, and you can see how many people actually responded to this, and this is very important. It's nice to see all these guys up in here talking about this stuff. The only thing I want to say to them is you can't be hypocritical and be talking about supporting writers, and then you're bashing Joss Whedon. You can't do that on the same hand. So the one thing I did not like about the Snyder Cut movement was that they started to really bash on Justice League and call it the Justice League. That kind of nonsense was not called for. It's another director. You should respect this director. Yes, you can call out and expose the points in the places where he has been either misogynist or whatever. You can call out those things, but you must also call out the positives. And this is where I just don't join the hate train in hating on Joss Whedon, because Joss Whedon finished this project. You guys would not get Justice League if it wasn't for Joss Whedon taking on the project that Zack had. And I truly believe the narrative that Zack actually wanted Joss Whedon to continue the project. I don't think Joss Whedon just grabbed it, and it seems as though he was hesitant to get it, like Charles Roven was saying. So I truly believe Joss Whedon put himself in a very difficult position of trying to complete another director's work, and the only way Joss Whedon knew how to do it was the way how he did it, and I can't really blame the guy for it. It wasn't his work, and he had to finish it somehow, some way. All right, so I'm not mad at that, and I'm not going to blame Zack either. I'm not going to blame Warner Bros. Either. My problem is now Warner Bros. Has a way, because they cut out a lot of stuff from the movie. They have an opportunity to, as I say before, sort of bring peace to the situation and make things right with their base. Okay, Walter Hamada and all these other people, and the executives that were supposedly I say obstructionists to that process should have been gone. Now, what I want to know from Warner Brothers is if they're going to still release the Snyder Cut. We'll see. San Diego Comic-Con, it's not even in full stream yet, right? It's now starting to warm up. So we'll see what happens when it comes to that. But it's a big issue for me, because I think that I don't expect Warner Brothers to put another dime into this movie. This movie cost them money. They put in extra money to try and make the movie get to the deadline date and happen. The movie that came out, I thought in the cinemas was a good, solid movie. I thought it was either the first best movie of 2017 or the second best movie of 2017. I really enjoyed it. I was satisfied with it. I saw it 10 times. So, and you don't get me to see no movie for 10 times, okay? Faults and all. And so at the end of the day, this was a solid movie. It wasn't a movie that was, it wasn't better than BVS, but it was damn near close to BVS. Good in terms of the content and all the things he tied up and stuff. And I just imagine if Zack Snyder's cut really had come there, all hell would have broken loose. But it was still good, very entertaining, very hopeful, leaves you very hopeful at the end of it. And so my point is, they tried their best with what they had. Now, my thing is that they got really crucified for that, which was not right. Warner Brothers, that's the position they were kept in. The thing about it is, there was stuff that Zack Snyder had done that they decided wasn't good enough, wasn't light enough, wasn't bright enough, and they even tried to change up some things at the end of the movie, which Zack Snyder had already done, and I think that cost them. They tried to play it safe, and it just cost them. And my point being, that was a miscalculation on their part. Now they have to redeem themselves. And if I were them, this is just my personal opinion, I would allow, first of all, James Wan to do what he wants to do, however he wants this movie, as dark as he wants to be. I also think that David Sandberg should be allowed to do what he wants to do, keep it edgy, etc. I could see them trying with the DC streaming TV to be edgy and so on, and they're trying to try and be what Warner Brothers is, and that's good. I applaud them for that. We'll see how it works out with Titans and Doom Patrol, etc. But at the end of the day, folks, ladies and gentlemen, this is the important thing to take home. The important take home is this, that Warner Brothers has the opportunity to release the Snyder Cut. And I just hope that they do that. I hope they do that. And my thing is, it can be released into Zack's hands, and Zack can get to working on it. If Zack is willing to do so, he's not going to get paid any more money. So I don't know if he will do something just because out of the love of his heart. I don't know if he'll do that. I don't know if he's in a position or a mindset to do that, but I'm pretty sure he would love to do it. He would love to redeem himself. So quite frankly, because he's been posting tons and tons of pictures. Okay, so if I were, Zach has been posting pictures along with Justice League when the movie was supposed to come out in cinemas anyway. So he's really into it, and so I would be happy to see him get it back in his hands. And he, if he has to do it out of pocket, whatever. And if we at the fans had to supply some money to him, I am down with that. Okay, my point being, I want to see this thing, and I want to see it, as of yesterday. If it's possible. So whatever it takes to get this cut out, I'm down with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really into attacking people and concentrating on people. I'm concentrating on issues. And that's, mainly what I want to talk to you guys about here. All right. So that was Jay Oliver and his response to that article. Oh, wow. You guys have been just killing it in here. So let's see what's happening here. Okay. So Damian Anton Vincent, there's a lot of people saying a lot of things here. Let me see what you guys are saying. W. Muir says, whoever let Ben Fritz graduate with a writing degree ought to be fired because that article was shit. I understand where you're coming from, W. Muir. I understand where you're coming from, W. Muir. He's a very good writer. But I guess he was posing as if he was really wanting to get the true story. And then he wrote this shaft. He really shafted everybody. And so it's okay. We know what it is, and that's what matters. Damian Anton Vincent says, Chris Warren was mad about the article because Fritz misrepresented what Chris said by only printing a piece of what he said. There you go. Damian Anton Vincent says, hashtag I stand with Zack Snyder. Absolutely. Me too, bro. W. Muir says, I'm tampering my wallet as well. I hear you, brother. I hear you. And you know why? I can see the lashback, W. Muir. I can see the lashback, William Miranda. I can see that lashback happening because what Warner Brothers is doing and what this media is doing is they're getting people to hate the DCEU who should not be hating it. Right now, we should be supporting the DCEU. So I want you to understand, I know you're going to go see Aquaman, William Miranda. I know you're going to see Aquaman, Damian Anton Vincent. But I can understand, I would understand if you tamper your enthusiasm. Even if Aquaman is a great movie, James Wan does, I could see how people will say, you know what, man, they're not giving out the Snyder Cut. So yes, I still support that movie, but I'm not going to go see it 4 or 5 times. I'll probably get a pirated copy at some point and just watch that, and that's terrible. But that's just to get people to know, hey, man, Warner Brothers, you think it's worse off putting out the Snyder Cut. Well, you're going to realize what's worse off. If you don't put out the Snyder Cut, you're actually going to have a worse time. And nobody's going to buy into your brand because you have to keep what they don't understand is what is called good faith. You have to have good faith with your audience. And the DCU fans, clearly, they're not people you're not like the MCU fans. They're not just going to take it in the ass, and be, fucked over and just let that be. No. They're not going to do that. They'll say, F you. And they already know they have some power because they were able to shut down Justice League to some degree. So they will shut down whatever movie's coming next. And that's what I'm trying to warn Warner Brothers about. I'm trying to tell them that, somebody needs to get this message to them, unless that's what they want. They want the DCU to fall. But they have to understand, if the DCEU falls, here's what's happening. People talking about comic book movies fall. They're not going to fall. Comic book movies are not going to fall. The MCU is going to be happy, right? That was the plan. So the detractors and everybody else will be happy that the DCU is fall. And here's the thing. The DC TV that they're thinking of streaming and all that will fall too. Their major income is in the DCEU films. So they're playing a very dangerous game by ignoring the fan base right now and their core fan base. The very people that keep them in existence, the very people that would fuel the expansion of their universe. They're playing a very dangerous game and they don't even understand it. And so they need to understand. And, the article by the guy from the Wall Street Journal, he doesn't even understand what he just did as well. Because by alienating these people and calling them crazies and calling them, they're only Zack Snyder fan, they're only uniting the fan base and crippling the DCEU. Because even I, who's a person who supports the DCEU and want to see the DCEU succeed, I understand very well that you tick off people the wrong way who have actually been the patronizers of your universe, the people who are the backbone of your universe. You are committing suicide. Okay, that's just straight up talk. And every time they try to demonize the fans, the people who pay money to see them. Every time they demonize those people, and again, unjustly demonize them or try to ignore them, the more they do that, it's just a big rift they're forming, because this is they don't understand how much Zack Snyder is like a pillar to the DCEU. Like, this is the guy that started it. This is the guy that got a lot of people interested in the DCEU. So by you shafting Zack Snyder and then shafting the fans that support him, and you think you're going to get new fans, you think you're going to get new people to enjoy it, and you think the critics care? Critics don't pay money for these movies. The critics don't pay money for these movies. Okay, so they don't care about the DCEU. Okay, you care about the DCEU if you put your money where your mouth is. They don't pay for anything. Okay, and they get to trash the DCEU however they feel fit. And then the certain MCU fans that trash the DCEU and have been talking all kinds of things and putting memes and saying that, you know, Batman v Superman was the worst comic book movie. They don't pay to see DCEU movies. They don't put a dime to see them. So at the end of the day, the people they're listening to are the wrong set of people. These are not the people bringing in your income, buddy. It's not the people bringing in the income. So if you want to satiate those people and satisfy those people, and you think they're going to take out of their pocket and pay you, you have another thing coming. They are expecting everything to be free, and they expect that they can just trash you anytime they want to. Because they don't care about the DCEU. The people who actually care about the DCEU, the people who actually care about it, they're the ones speaking to you now. And you have to listen to them. W. Mir says, whoever let, okay, Davian Antovincent says, Chris Ron was mad about that. Yeah. Leroy Kong said, hello, sorry I'm late. As always, great live video. Justice League is my #1 movie, and Aquaman is going to be an excellent big time. I'm glad you have a positive outset as usual, Leroy Kong. And that's awesome. Davies says, hey, guys. William says, if Zach had chosen Whedon, why hasn't he seen the movie? That has nothing to do with it. Why would he go see the movie? He knew what the movie was going to be, first of all. And second of all, he put it in Whedon's hands. So whatever Whedon wanted to do, Whedon would do. That's just the way it goes. You know, when Christopher Nolan put Man of Steel in Zach's hands, okay, Christopher Nolan let that go, and it was Zach's stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? That's how the principle goes. W. Mir says, after 8 months, why would you want to see a movie? Why would you need to see a movie that you already know what it is? Why would you need to see a movie? You know the ins and outs of that movie. Why would you want to go see it? Leroy Khan says, I remain positive throughout. I do not follow dirty-minded people. Warner Brothers should be smart and make right decisions. They better. They better. That's all I'm saying. W. Mir says, exactly. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut. Leroy Khan says, again, I've seen Justice League 30 times in theaters. Whew, wow. W. Mir, imagine if it was Snyder's true vision, Leroy. Would have been more. Leroy Sound says, when you look back, if Zach's vision was released, these dirty minded people would still complain and bash the movie. Absolutely. I agree with you, Leroy. I agree with you. Dave Ethan says, clearly Fritz has a strong bias. Giovanni De Adario, time to close this Justice League chapter. Move on. For you can go ahead and do that. Goodbye. W. Mir says, Leroy, I don't give a damn about those dirty-minded people. BVS made nearly 900 million, is one of the top 50 selling Blu-rays, has hours and hours of analysis commentary. Imagine JL's Snyder's vision. Again, this look, W. Mir, we what coulda, shoulda, woulda is another story. Right now, here's the important thing I think you guys need to stay focused on. Now is a time for Warner Brothers to make a decision and right whatever wrongs they've done with their fan base. So what they have an opportunity to do now is release the Snyder Cut. That's the thing that again, you're talking about, you know, hypotheticals. I'm not in hypotheticals anymore, W. Mir. I am in reality. You know what I'm saying? And for me right now, it's not about what coulda, shoulda, woulda, because it didn't happen. What's important now is what are they going to do about it? What are they going to do about it? You know, and that to me is a much more important thing. They have the opportunity right now in San Diego Comic-Con to make a decision and to walk through with that. Jay Oliver, who has been a storyboarder for almost all of Zack Snyder's DC, in fact, all of Zack Snyder's DCU movies, and he has the opportunity to, you know, he's talking about this thing in truth. And now Warner Bros. Has the opportunity to see all these things. Yes, I hope somebody gets this to Warner Bros., some of these people, so they will understand. I'm not somebody who hated Justice League. I'm not like W. Mir. I'm not like the other Release the Snyder Cut fans, some of the other Release the Snyder Cut fans who has been disrespectful to that movie. You notice how respectful I've been, Dave Ethan. You're a witness to it. You've been a witness to it, Leroy Kong, how respectful I've been about that movie, as well as I've constantly been speaking about the my criticisms. I always had something to recommend to Warner Bros. About their approach to things. And even now, when I speak, I'm speaking, hoping that Warner Bros. Will see this, hoping that Warner Bros. will think about this and what they're strategically trying to do, the decisions they're trying to make, that they would understand best how to proceed with this, because this is not going away anytime soon. You know, W. Mir said, I saw Justice League 17 times. Shout out to you. Wow, 17 times. That's some serious support, bro. And did you see something new every time you saw it 17 times? If you haven't seen anything new, why do you go see it 17 times? Unless you fell in love with it or something. I don't just go to see a movie more than once unless I ain't seen something new in it. You know, I went to see Justice League 10 times. I saw 10 new things, more than 10 new things. But every time I see it, even to this day, there's things I can break down in Justice League. You know, just up to recently, I did a recent video. If you guys have been watching my videos, and you would see that, you know, that thing, man, that movie has so much stuff. Zack had put so much stuff in it. And again, you got to understand, if 85% of a movie Zack Snyder has done 85 to 80% of that movie, you know there's stuff in it, right? No matter what Whedon does, right? And so at the end of the day, you know, Whedon tried his best, but, you know, Zack, man, Zack puts a lot of thought into his movies. I tell you, man, the dude, I got respect for that dude. I got respect for that dude. That's all I'm going to say. I got respect for a lot of directors, you know, but Zack, I got respect for him, you know. That's what makes me like the DCEU. I got respect for him as a director and as a filmmaker. I got a lot of respect for the guy. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you guys right now. I think it's 10:57. It's almost 11 o'clock in the night. I got some sleep early on this afternoon, but I need to go back in my bed and rest so I can get up early tomorrow and do some other things. Leroy Khan says Justice League is a masterpiece. I wouldn't call it a masterpiece. No, I would never call it a masterpiece. I wouldn't call it a masterpiece. I wouldn't call it that. I just wouldn't. I reserve. You know what? It was a masterpiece though, and a lot of people think I'm controversial for this. Star Wars: The Last Jedi was a masterpiece of a film. Now, I'm still contemplating which one was better. Was it Justice League or Star Wars: The Last Jedi? I'm not too sure which one is better for 2017. It's a contentious topic, but Star Wars: The Last Jedi was a masterpiece of a film. And it's because everything was on point. The cinematography, everything was on point. Everything on the story, everything was on point in that movie. You know, I've seen that movie twice now. I need to go back and see it a third time. I need to get a personal copy of that movie. It is a masterpiece of filmmaking. Brilliantly done. And again, Ryan is not going to get his credit due to him. They treating Star Wars: The Last Jedi like how they treated Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. You know, same bullshit we're going through with Star Wars: The Last Jedi. That's a great film. And it's going to prove, and through time, it's going to prove to be a great film. It's a great film. All right. With a great message. Giovanni Adaria says, hope Saturday morning or night get some great news from DC Comics. Well, you already got some good news, man. We got the DC TV. We got the Titans preview. We have a lot of Aquaman stuff coming out so far. We're going to have some Shazam stuff. We had some Shazam stuff. It was really good. Not much on Wonder Woman so far. We haven't heard a lot from Wonder Woman. And I'm pretty sure they're going to give you your plans rolling forward for the DCEU as well as other properties. Oh, they're going to talk a little bit about Krypton as well sometime during the day. So you'll get an update on Krypton as well. So that all of that stuff's going to come down. So it's an exciting time for DC and DC Comics. Of course, they have their, I think they still have Justice League Action on Cartoon Network, and maybe a couple animated features down the pipe that Warner Bros. DC is going to have that will let you in the loop and in the know about. Excuse me. So I'm tired. I need to sleep. But it should be a good time, man. It should be exciting time. It should be exciting time. Oh yeah, I also still believe in the DCEU. I think the DCU is a special sort of property. And of course, I also believe that DC is a win for me. Look, when I'm talking about why I'm emphasizing on the Snyder Cut so much, it's just simply because I want to make sure that this movement actually produces a result, and I hope that everybody here is pretty much on board to get a Zack Snyder cut out there. It's very important, I think, to have the creative goals and visions of a director constantly satisfied. And the other cut that we need to really push for, but we right now focus on one, is next David Ayer's Suicide Squad cut. We need to get David Ayer's Suicide Squad cut out next. That's the next thing to do. All Warner Brothers needs to do is right these two wrongs. Right the wrongs. The important thing and the principle behind this is this: a director is doing something with a film. Therefore, don't tamper with the director's vision of his film. This is the whole thing. This is the bottom line. The creative design of a film. And we've seen that they tampered with things in a stupid way. And so they got what they got. And it's a stupid move. But hey, that doesn't mean Warner Brothers is stupid. It just means that they made some stupid decisions and some stupid moves. They've done it before, though. And so this is a time for this cut to be shared. You know, we push for the Snyder cut and we push for the Ayer cut so that James Wan, Patty Jenkins, David Sandberg, they don't do the same nonsense to these directors that they did to David Ayer, that they did to Zack Snyder. They cannot be doing that. The directors pour out their heart and soul, and as they're coming to the end of their damn movie, production movie, these people come in and screw the whole thing up. You cannot be doing that all the time. And so that's why, you know, you hear James Wan right now talking about the heart and soul of Aquaman. And then a couple of days, couple of weeks or months before release, Warner Brothers comes in and say, you know, you need to shorten this, or you need to do this, or you need to do that. That would be so freaking disgusting. You understand what I'm saying? So this is to safeguard these people so that when we go into the theater, we go in and we get what they had poured their hearts and souls into. Win, lose, or draw, that's what we want to see. Let them fall by their own sword if they have to. But usually studio interference is what causes movies to be sub-quality. Studio interference. So we have to make sure that these studios understand, and you, especially pro director studios. That's what you say you are. You're pro director. Okay, then be pro director and trust the director to the end. You know, otherwise you're going to have disaster. The alternative is always a disaster with the Warner Brothers. They've had a history of disasters. Okay. So let the director do what they do. Okay. You got to trust your directors to tell the story how they best want to tell it. Trust them. You know, and these are the people in the arts. These are the people who have been creative. These are the people who know how to bring these things to reality. Not the people who don't know about it. Tell the story how they best want to tell it. So anyway, that's what I had to say. I just believe. Look at Solo. Okay, now Solo. I think Solo had one director, and then Ron Howard came in to do Solo. Right? Solo was dead as well. Ryan. I forgot what his name is for Last Jedi. Last Jedi made some money, but it still bombed, right? It still flopped, not bombed, but flopped. Didn't make as much as say The Force Awakens, right? But at the end of the day, I value that Disney trusted their director to carry through this very, very controversial topic. Okay, the movie is filled with controversy. It's okay though. Sometimes you need those kinds of movies in the cinema because they make a difference. All right. It's about art. You know, I was watching today an interview Jamie Foxx was having with two-time Oscar winner, the man who played Malcolm X. Just slipped my mind what his name is. I can see his face. I can't see his name, right? Doesn't matter. He's the guy that did Malcolm X. He's the guy that did Training Day, David Ayer's film, Training Day, etc. Black man. And he was saying, it's not how popular you are, it's that you are any good. So for him as an actor, it's about being good. Denzel Washington, thank you. It's about being good. It's not about how popular you are. You want something that stands the test of time? You want something that is good? That's what you go for, not what is popular. And a lot of times, these business people and all of these other people want things that are popular so they can make some money. And they don't want good quality stuff that they can stand back, look back at, and be proud of. But that's what art is about. Yes, it's commercial, so people will go see it. But the movies that always do the best, Black Panther. Black Panther was good, and it just so happened to be also popular at the same time. You see what I'm saying? Blockbusters tend to be about appeasing and being popular, and that's not what it's all about. In the end of the day, you have to sometimes make a blockbuster that's good first and popular second. And then the people who we are paying these days to be critics, film critics, they're very partisan. They're very partisan, and they choose to go a partisan way. It's not that they're shallow or they don't see the merits in the film. They see it, but they decide they're going to pick a side, and they're going with that side. So we have a lot of politics now in our arts, which is rather foolish, but it is what it is. But it's about something being good. And if you made a quality product, a good product, people can say whatever they want to say. But you know what's the greatest form of flattery? Seeing other people copy what you do. If the DCU is so bad, why is it that the MCU is copying what they do? If the DCEU is not the gold standard and they just are rushing to try and catch up with the MCU like the narrative is saying, why is the MCU copying them? Why are they copying them? Why are they doing that? So there's something good in what the DCEU is doing if the MCU has to copy it. Right? And so that's what I wanted to say. Got to go to sleep now. It's 11:07. I hope you guys have a good night. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of update on San Diego Comic-Con. We can always spend some more time talking again, but have a blessed evening. And make sure, guys, that you continue to support the DCEU. I'm not telling you guys not to support the DCEU, but I'm also saying that in order to support the DCEU, we must take this issue with the Snyder Cut seriously, because it's about creative freedoms, and it's also about which is starting to lack in this industry, because this industry, people want everything to be the same, and it's all about hee hee ha ha and jokes. Okay, and it's about time that we have these different and variety out here, and that's in jeopardy, and that's what this is all about. All right, have a good night, guys. God bless.